St. Augustine has a really interesting quote on this subject. He says, the essence of sin is disordered love. The essence of sin is disordered love. If you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I take this sin and respond to it? Where is idolatry, sexual immorality, and complaining taking over? It's when our love is out of order. How does your love become out of order? All right, I'll give you a simple one first. You have a love of a hobby. All right, you talk about this hobby, like everybody knows you're all about this hobby. It's like the greatest thing in the world. But then when you go to work, you can't turn that off. And so at work, all you can talk about is your hobby. And at first, everyone thinks that's cute. Like, oh yeah, he likes his hobby. And then after a while, they're like, does this guy ever work? Like, all he ever talks about is his hobby. If he had half the love of his job that he did for this hobby, we might actually be able to accomplish something. Now, there are jobs that are really just about paying the rent, right? I know some of us have to take those jobs, but if you're in a job like that where you're just, I don't care about this job at all, I only want to be somewhere else, that'll work for a year, maybe 2 years, but you start to resent that job. You start to become miserable. It's like most of the places I go into, I'm like, wow, everyone's miserable in this job right now. Everyone hates being here. That shows up when our life is out of order. It's not supposed to be that way. Next level, your job compared to your home. Now, if you go from your job and you love it and you have that in order, you're like, okay, there's a point of my life of being here and being a good worker, but you never turn it off. So when you go home, your disordered love is you work all the time, every day. Your spouse knows that you love your job more than they do. It's the breakdown of marriages, the breakdown of family units and relationships, kids. Your kids know that you love your job more than them. They start to even tell you, I didn't know you. All those stories we hear is disordered love. That somehow, somewhere along the way, hobby, work became bigger than home. But there's another level, and it's God. Suddenly the home is bigger than God. And I see this all the time, especially when I was down south. I think it happens here too, where your life is centered around your home and your kids, and you're going from school to the sport to the club. You've got off-season club, you've got in-season club, you got summer league, you got tournaments all weekend long. And then they'll come to the pastor and they'll say, man, I just don't really feel God. And I'm like, oh, that's because your God is that ball. I don't say that. I don't actually say it. I go, let me pray for you. But that's what it is. You're so disordered love, and none of these are bad. Every single thing I've said is good in the right order. It's only in the essence of the disorder that it becomes a sin. It becomes an idol. Sexual immorality starts to come in. You have all these complaints coming in because you're starting to go, why is my life this way? It's like because you have disordered love. You have to get it all back into order.